amante de Jennifer Lopez, Claudia Vasquez, nos revela que Jennifer Lopez hace santería.
¿Qué santería? Magia negra. A mí me han dicho que se mete, o sea, a hacer lo peor. De dar miedo. Mira, tiene una madrina en Miami, yo no la conozco, pero le llama y Ojani sí la conoce.
JLo's first husband, Ojani Noah, was really painted out to be like this greedy man that wanted to exploit and benefit from his time with Jennifer Lopez. And to a certain degree, I would probably say maybe he did. Maybe he did want to exploit that a little bit. Now, he was only married to JLo about 7 months, right? But he wanted to let the audience know about his experience with JLo by way of writing a book, doing a movie, a tell-all. He did several interviews with the Latin American News Network. Even now, he's still doing interviews about his experience with JLo. He also sat on some 11 hours of footage with JLo that it was said was supposed to be some kind of a sex tape. But honestly, Ojani says that it's not. He has been painted out to be an opportunist in the news outlets by JLo's camp for the most part. But you have to kind of wonder, well, what does he know about JLo? What are some of the things that, Ojani can disclose and say? What's this rumor about Santeria? Let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. Ojani Noa is a Cuban immigrant who married Jennifer Lopez for less than a year in the late 90s. During that time, Ojani Noa was working as a dishwasher at Gloria Estefan's restaurant in Miami when JLo walked in and caught his eye. At that time, this was 1996, and JLo was filming the movie Blood and Wine with Jack Nicholson, okay? And Ojani Noa was just 22 years old, and he had illegally arrived to the United States on a raft from Cuba, okay, with like 6 of his other friends at the age of 15, and he didn't speak much English at all. So he was a dishwasher, and that kind of suited him because he didn't have a lot of interaction with customers. His English was lacking. And when they first met each other, they instantly hit it off. Now, one thing that Ojani has shared in interviews for many, many years was that he was there. He was the first one to support JLo in this career. The first one. And he feels a bit like people don't really understand that, like, because he pioneered her career to a certain degree. And, he said that he was there at the very beginning, supporting her, dealing with her anxieties and insecurities, which if you watch This Is Me Now and, the making of her documentaries and whatnot, JLo, I believe, has a lot of insecurities. She shared that openly, right? Now, Ojani and JLo married in 1997 at a friend's backyard. Ojani claims that, his heart was in the right place for his marriage. He married JLo being in love, but he felt that, JLo's drive for her success in the career came at the expense of the relationship. Now, JLo being 27, 28 at this time, she's late 20s, right? And I remember myself in my late 20s. Honestly, I was very career driven. I had my relationship, I had my family, but I was very career driven. So whatever I had in my life, it had to be serious. And honestly, you can't get any more serious than being married. So did the marriage get in the way? Did Ojani get in the way? I mean, really, guys, this is what it seems like. Like, he was kind of in the way. But the way Ojani has described this is that he was kind of like the Cinderella of the relationship, being there for her, supporting her. That's what he has said in the tabloids throughout the years. Ojani was quoted saying, "I was a really good husband because I believed in marriage." But that Jennifer Lopez's focus on her career became to overshadow that marriage. that it became a burden. They would have disagreements at home, but in the public, she wanted Ojani to act like everything's okay. You know, it's so interesting. There's like a power and control thing here, right? Like if you're arguing, you want everybody to act like they're okay. And I think that this was what we've been seeing with Ben and JLo to a certain degree. Ben doesn't do a good job in hiding, or hasn't done a good job in hiding his disapproval of things. You could see it in his face. But JLo is married to her career, right? Like she, it's husband and then it's marriage to career. It seems like it's always been like that. It was like that for what Ojani Noa experienced.
Now, Ojani and JLo divorced in 1998, okay? And Ojani has publicly said that the divorce was because of JLo's infidelity, that JLo had this thing about lying and being unfaithful, and that allegedly had been caught up with her lies and was caught being unfaithful as well. So Ojani was like, listen, I'm giving you an ultimatum. Like, it's here or this, or we're done in divorce. So a divorce was filed, like, quickly. So this marriage didn't really last very long, right? But even though they divorced in 1998, Ojani and JLo remained friends and business partners. JLo decides to open a restaurant called Madres, and Ojani put their creative minds and decided to open this restaurant. So even though they were divorced, they were still getting into businesses together. Allegedly, Ojani says in various interviews that they were still dealing with each other. So it wasn't like JLo just walked away from this whole situation and never talked to Ojani again. No, she basically had him manage the restaurant, Madres, where a lot of prominent celebrity high people would come in there and eat and basically hang out with other celebrities. It was said. Now, when that business relationship ended, because it did, in 2004, Ojani Noa decides, I'm going to sue JLo for employment claims because he was employed in Madres, in this restaurant. He was running it for her. 2 years after that lawsuit, they arrived to this settlement. And in this settlement, it was said that there were confidentiality provisions that prohibited him, Ojani, from disclosing for monetary gain any intimate details about his relationship with JLo. Okay? And any disparagement of his wife or any disparagement of his ex-wife was also part of that. Well, it was after that Ojani Noa said, well, listen, I got a book. I gotta get my book out there, okay? Because he's thinking, well, it's one thing for me to be married, right? But we also shared a business partnership, and it was many years of this. Even after the marriage, she had remarried, she had moved on, and he was still around, okay? And allegedly, he's also saying that he was still, like, dealing with her in different ways, but not that much, even after the divorce. Ojani says, I'm going to start looking into writing a book and just shopping around for publishers and stuff like that. So JLo says, no, I'm going to sue you. And this is in 2006. JLo says, no, I'm going to sue you for breaching the settlement. So that case enters into arbitration, where Jennifer obtained a permanent injunction against him, as well as a judgment forcing Ojani to pay over $500,000 to Jennifer Lopez. It was after that Ojani said, well, I'm still going to move forward and do what I have to do, right? He comes up with this project, to make a movie about his life. And he's going to call it, and he decides, I'm going to call it Owe JLO. I mean, how original is that, right? Like, it's a very catchy title and topic, Owe JLO. Well, then 2 years after that, a woman by the name of Claudia Vasquez comes into the picture. And she's a producer. And she enters with this production agreement with another company to produce this, like, comedy film portraying Ojani Noah's life from being like a Cuban immigrant to husband and later ex-husband of JLo and beyond. Okay, so that was their idea. But of course, you know that they're going to use JLo's name because, I mean, she's a big star back then. They're going to watch anything that has JLo on it, right? So, of course, JLo finds out that this has my name on it. She sets out a bunch of cease and desist. Okay? That sets off the narrative that Ojani is about to release 11 hours of previously unseen home video footage of Jennifer Lopez and Ojani Noa that included JLo being naked, possibly being naked. Okay? So in 2009, Jennifer decides to take Ojani Noa and Claudia Vasquez to court, and she's demanding $10 million for breach of contract, violation of publicity rights, invasion of privacy, and other claims. JLo successfully obtained an injunction that stopped production on a film titled "How I Married Jennifer Lopez: The JLo and Ojani Noah Story." So JLo has been very active throughout the years trying to stop Ojani Noa from talking about their marriage, about their intimate time, their first marriage. I mean, the girl will get on lawyers. It's amazing because you don't hear a lot of the English media talk a little bit more about this or give this man a whole lot of platforms. He does a lot in the Latin American. You see some YouTube channels where he does some interviews, and some of them are in Spanish, right? But I'm just like, if people were to watch some of these interviews in English, you would understand at least why JLo's like, I'm not having it. I'm shutting this man down. I don't want him telling my secrets and stuff like that, right? To profit. Back in 2009, when she was going in there getting her injunctions and, going after people for millions of dollars and whatnot, Jennifer Lopez at that time had not sued Claudia Vasquez, who was working on her own project for Telemundo. Okay. So Claudia was on the receiving end of one of Lopez's cease and desist letters, but because she never responded, Jennifer Lopez had assumed the producer got the message and didn't follow up with litigation. Bad move, JLo. Well, Claudia turned around and sued Jennifer Lopez for $10 million. And she claimed that that JLo's threats had made her radioactive, that her film suddenly became unmarketable, and that Telemundo decided to pass on the film for legal reasons. So basically suing JLo for not being able to produce a project. It made Claudia Vasquez's project very unmarketable, all right? It was said that the legal drama between these individuals was very much telenovela worthy, that it became more intriguing when Jennifer Lopez filed an anti-slap motion and failed. So there was a lot of legal stuff that came out of this together, from this marriage that she had to, the divorce, to employing this man at a restaurant, to wanting not anybody to speak about what happened in her time with Ojani Noa. Essentially, where we stand right now, Claudia was pretty upset because it was through these legal moves and through JLo's PR team and JLo slamming this project that made this tell-all unmarketable back then. Now, let me say this. I think it would be marketable now. Because 2024 is the year of exposure. I don't know about you guys, but yeah. So JLo at the end of the day was able to appeal and win her lawsuits against Claudia Vasquez. There was something that Claudia Vasquez said in the news that totally made everybody look at JLo a little bit interesting. And it was regarding Santeria. For those that don't know what Santeria is, I'm going to give you a very basic explanation of it. This is not deep diving into it. But essentially, Santeria is the religion that focuses on building relationships between human beings, powerful but mortal spirits called orishas. Followers believe that these spirits will give them help in life if they carry out the appropriate rituals and enable them to achieve the destiny that God planned for them before they were born.
This is very much a mutual relationship, as the Orishas need to be worshipped by human beings if they are to continue to exist. There was a Supreme Court case regarding Santeria, and Justice Kennedy at the time in 1993 said, and I quote, "The Santeria faith teaches that every individual has a destiny from God, a destiny fulfilled with the aid and energy of the Orishas. The basis of Santeria religion is the nurture of personal relations with the Orishas, and one of the principal forms of devotion is an animal sacrifice. According to Santeria teaching, the Orishas are powerful, but not immortal. They depend for survival on the sacrifice." So, sacrificing of animals is basically a must in this religion. So the Santeria rumor that JLo engages in Santeria is something that was put out there by Claudia Vasquez and Ojani Noa. Ojani Noa wouldn't directly say it, but you know, it's been rumored, and he never really did anything to stop those rumors as well. It's my understanding, and then there's been other things that have been posted out there about the fact that, you know, when he was struggling in his marriage with Jennifer Lopez, he was willing to do whatever he could to save it. So they were willing to go to whatever, you know, spiritualists and stuff like that to help them through the situation, especially because Jennifer Lopez heavily believed in this stuff. She's been very open about believing in certain things. And again, I think that this would not be the first celebrity that we have heard that engages in any kind of santeria. I mean, we've heard of Cardi B, we've heard of other celebrities that engage in this kind of stuff. And as a Latina, knowing how common that is, it's a common thing. It's a common thing in various Latino communities that people engage in this kind of thing. I have relatives that engage in that kind of thing. I personally don't. No, you know, that's just me. I don't need it. I don't mess with it. I'm good. But you know, respectfully, there are people that do engage in this, and people have gotten into debates. Some people, I know some of you guys in my chat feel like this is the occult. Some of you guys may say that. I mean, tell me how you feel. But you also have to understand that various celebrities engage in this kind of thing. Okay. But let me know your thoughts. So, Claudia Valdez puts this out there in an interview that she did with the Spanish network. And I got that clip. Okay. And she said something about how Jennifer Lopez got that role for Selena. She did. She said something. Huh? Let's watch.
La demandante de Jennifer Lopez, Claudia Vasquez, nos revela que Jennifer Lopez hace santería.
¿Qué santería? Magia negra. A mí me han dicho que se mete, o sea, a hacer lo peor. De dar miedo. Mira, tiene una madrina en Miami, yo no la conozco, pero le llama, y Ojani sí la conoce, y le dice, haz esto a fulano, sutano, pone una vena negra, pone esto. En todas sus relaciones le ha entrado a sus amarres, algo típico de las personas que usan santería, ¿no? Hacen sus amarres de que se quede contigo, o de atraerlo, o cosas así. Pero con todo y eso, pues, los deja porque se aburre de ellos, ¿no? O sea.
Y nos revela que famosa le hizo un trabajito.
Esto para agarrar la película de Selena, supuestamente le hizo algo a Salma Hayek, porque Salma estaba también por ese papel y ella era mexicana y Jennifer era puertorriqueña, ¿no? Entonces fue con la madrina y le hizo algo para que le dieran a ella y Salma no saliera en ese papel.
Now, again, Claudia and Ojani were working together on this project and whatnot for this movie. And I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if Ojani told Claudia, like, this is what JLo's into. She has somebody in the family that does her, you know, Santeria type of jobs. So Claudia in this clip says, yeah, she's into Santeria. She's into the black magic. Ojani told me that she has a godmother in Miami that does, you know, jobs for her. And there's a, you know, black candle. And then she also says how she had to do something for this Selena role that, you know, Salma Hayek being Mexican would have gotten it over JLo, who's Puerto Rican. Like, I never heard that before. But when I saw this clip, I said, oh my God, I am so surprised. What? Yo, listen, like I said, people have said different things, and they speculated different things about what JLo is into. You know, and Ojani Noa has speculated a lot about the Diddy situation as well. And what Ojani has confirmed is that there was cheating and infidelity in his marriage. And that's what happened. And that ever since then, she has been trying to silence him to tell his side of the story. Yo, you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think? Should Ojani be allowed to write his book and talk about his experiences with JLo? I mean, hell, why not? It's 2024. Let all things be revealed. It's been said that Diddy's been into some stuff as well. And so maybe this is how they found some commonality in their relationship as well. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this whole thing.